We're going to be starting off with my Marvel action figure collection. A little mix of Marvel Legends, Marvel Select, Mezco. A little bit of everything in here, whatever fits in. And here we have the Avengers team. That's a Mezco Captain America. I really like that one. Nick Fury back there, the Hulk, the Black Widow, the Iron Man here, Vision, War Machine, the Wasp, Falcon, Thor, Black Panther. Got Spider-Man in here too. A cool little Avengers team up. Doctor Strange from the Mezco. It's another really good one. I also have the Punisher from Mezco there. Oh yeah, it's the Avengers shelf. We're moving on to the bad guy shelf. We have Thanos here. We have Hela as well. We have the black suit Spider-Man. Wanda. We have the Super Skrulls back there. Ultron. Gore the God Butcher. We have some of Ultron's minions over here, his bots, his Legion. Taskmaster and Red Skull from Mezco. Moving on down here, we have the Ghost Rider, Mephisto, Iron Fist, Doctor Strange from the Defenders. We have Blade. We have Moon Knight, Elektra, Deadpool back there. Also have Blackheart and Cloak back there. Can't see him that well. This shelf has a mix of different toy lines. That's Mezco Ghost Rider, and Marvel Select, Mephisto, Mezco, Iron Fist, Marvel Legends, Elektra. A little mix of everything. On this shelf we have the Fantastic Four up here in the front with Doctor Doom. Also the Guardians of the Galaxy with some agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Namor. Also have a Watcher back there. Also have the Sentry back there with Luke Cage and the Winter Soldier. Down here we have the HasLab Galactus with his 4 heralds. One of them being the Silver Surfer on his hand there. And a couple Toy Biz figures here. The Galactus Toy Biz that I was using before the HasLab came out. And we have some of the figures that came with the HasLab here. And we have an Ant-Man. And over here is my Master Mold HasLab. This was my first HasLab ever. So when I got the box in, I was amazed how big it was, almost as tall as me. And here are some of his Sentinels from Marvel Legends and some older Toy Biz Sentinels. I like their damaged look, weathered look. Yeah, there does it for my Marvel Comics shelf. Some of my superheroes. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Quick pan out of everything. I'm missing quite a few main characters, but we're working on it. But these are the main heroes I have on here. The ones I use and grew up reading comic books about. Here we have my Spider-Man shelf, my favorite superhero. And one of the first few action figures I collected as a kid. Here we have the villain shelf with the Sinister Six and have all sorts of Spider-Man villains in here. Like the Green Goblin, Carnage, Rhino, Shocker, Kingpin. And over here is my Spider-Verse shelf that has different types of Spider-Mans from different universes. Like Miles Morales here, Spider-Gwen, the Scarlet Spider, Even got Tobey Maguire over here with the Green Goblin, Spider-Ham. And down here is kind of the underworld of Spider-Man, where Daredevil has to clean up the streets when Spider-Man retires for a bit. Kind of based his shelf kind of off the Daredevil and Punisher Netflix series. That's a Mezco Punisher Special Operations with a coat on it. I think it looks pretty cool. And over here we have our symbiote shelf with all the symbiotes in the Marvel Universe, or at least most of them. I'm trying to get them all. You have Null in the middle as well, commanding them all. Wish he got a bigger role in Venom, but we got what we got. And that does it for my Spider-Man shelf. And here we have the X-Men shelf. I grew up watching the animated series, so this shelf has a special place in my heart and nostalgia. Just looking at it, these characters, just watch them on Sunday night cartoons. And my favorite X-Men back there, the Nightcrawler, with his teleportation. Also, that Wolverine Anniversary is really a great figure. Here are some of our villains of the X-Men series. You got Magneto, Sabretooth, Mr. Sinister, Pyro, which is one of my favorite villains, Mystique, you have the Dark Phoenix up in front as well. The Juggernaut back there, the Blob. Yeah, a lot of characters that would give the X-Men some trouble. And the Apocalypse right there, Bastion. A lot of great figures that have been released this year. Moving on down here, we have the Sauron BAF from the X-Men wave. And we have Kang the Conqueror, Nimrod down here, Psylocke. I have Juggernaut's broken helmet as well right there. Mojo back there. And this is a custom shield that was made for me, so I put my Magneto in there, like force field effect. And here we have my Hulk shelf. I have to give this guy his own shelf because all his villains are huge. The Abomination back there, that takes up like half the shelf. We have the Red Hulk, the Grey Hulk, and down here we have the Obsidian Silver Surfer with the Mjolnir, with Odin and his 2 destroyers. And just some more Master Mold Sentinel action. It's a pretty cool light up feature. It's the ice glow. That does it for most of my X-Men action figures. I think I have most of them down, except for a few team members and villains, but I think I got the main roster down. Alright, we're moving to the DC universe. Here we have the Justice League with Batman, Superman, The Flash, the Martian Manhunter, which is my personal favorite, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, Hawkman. Also have Darkseid back there with some of his parademons, and also the Storm collectibles, Doomsday and Darkseid back there. The Justice League Watchtower. Here we have a lot of the other members of the Justice League. Like Supergirl, the Atom, Constantine, Dr. Fate, Shazam, Mr. Plastic. Have the Anti-Monitor back there, ready to wipe the whole universe. And down here we have the Legion of Doom, being run by Lex Luthor. Have Gorilla Grodd, Lobo, Bane, King Shark, the Joker, Captain Boomerang, Cyborg, Superman, Harley Quinn back there. A lot of great characters on this shelf. Swamp Thing back there as well. Try to fit as much as I could in here. This version of Bane from Storm Collectibles, but I also have the classic version as well. Also, the Lobo from Storm Collectibles is one of the best Lobo figures I've seen. Moving on here, we have the Teen Titans with the Green Lantern Corps. Also Brainiac in the front with some of his minions. And Trigon back there, trying to get Raven to join him. Also have Beast Boy there, one of my favorite DC characters. I think they made a new version of him, McFarlane, but I like this one. That about wraps up my Justice League shelf with some Legion of Doom in there. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Now we're gonna head over to Gotham for some Batman action figures. Here we have some mezco Batmans. His blue suit, his gray suit, and his leather suit. The Alfred back there, and the Man-Bat. Gonna be moving on here to Commissioner Gordon calling for Batman. Got Nightwing, Robin, the Red Hood, and Batwoman. Gonna be moving down here to the Arkham game villains. I love playing the Batman Arkham games. Definitely had great story and gameplay. And great character designs. Just glad they made the action figures. And here we have some more Batman villains. Harley Quinn, Black Mask, Two-Face, the Riddler, Poison Ivy, Bane, Clayface. Some of these are done by Mezco, like the Joker, Black Mask, and Two-Face. Others are done from mostly McFarlane. And down here we have some Court of Owls figures. Ra's al Ghul, Italia. And here we have our Batman Beyond shelf with the Mezco Batman and the custom Blight I made. I really liked his look in the series. And on Unmasked Terry and Old Man Batman there. It's pretty cool. Definitely had some great villains in the show. And yeah, that's most of my Batman figures. I definitely grew up watching Batman, and he's one of my favorite superheroes. For sure. I just finished watching the Penguin series as well. That was a really great series for just a villain of Batman. Goes to show that a lot of his villains are really fleshed out. It has some great characters in the series. But that does it for my Batman shelf. We're gonna be moving on. Here are some fantasy action figures, mostly Mythic Legions. A lot of inspiration for collecting these was from growing up watching The Lord of the Rings, and also reading and watching The Hobbit as well. A lot of these Mythic Legions comes with their own backstory and lore and names, but I just create my own headcanon with them. It's a fun part about collecting. You could also swap the pieces out. They're very customizable friendly. Yes, I have a few customs on the shelf where you just swap the head out. A lot of talented people in the community that make customs for each other or for themselves. Moving on down here, we have some demons that I took inspiration from the video game Oblivion. When the Oblivion gates open and all these demons start pouring out. A lot of great figures released over the years by Mythic Legions, like this one with the horse, which I forget the names of them all, but this one is done by a third-party company. I just mix different fantasy figures that will go good together. This guy looked like he was like a guy wearing Daedric armor from Oblivion. And it's a custom Mythic Legion with a custom head sculpt. Here's kind of like the Holy Knights versus the demons. The Hellish Army. Moving on, we have some orcs here. Some custom Mythic Legion orcs. Some ogres back there as well. Here's some dire wolves from the company D20 Studios. Get a good shot of the big ogres back there. And the orc shaman. Some brute orcs, I call them. Here we have some orcs riding the dire wolves, some spears, the leader of the orc army in the middle, and a custom that was given to me. I highly recommend these dire wolf figures. They have great articulation, comes with a bunch of equipment and accessories. And down here we have the King of the Goblins with a couple of goblin action figures. I forget from which line I got those little ones from, but they're pretty cool looking. I have a goblin shaman as well with the forest troll in the back. Pretty gnarly looking. There's a lot of great detail on the Mythic Legions. And over here we have some of the shadow orcs they released with a stone troll in the back. They also released some orcs that are called Fury orcs that were red color. They're pretty cool. I haven't gotten any of those. I only got the green and the black orcs because they remind me of the Lord of the Rings style orcs and goblins we saw in the films and in other media. And we got a frost troll here and a cyclops troll. And here we have my dwarf clan and also my elf clan. This one kind of looks like Legolas, so I'm just having him in the front. He's one of my favorite characters in The Lord of the Rings. Some forest knights, or I'm not sure how you call them, but they do look really cool. Defending the Queen of the Forest on her moose. Like I said before, they come with backstories, but I just make my own headcanon for them. Moving on to some of the dwarves here. The horsemen did an amazing paint job on these. Also have the King of the Dwarves back there with his crown, riding a boar into battle. I'm a big fan of the Hobbits, so I've been trying to build up this dwarf army for quite a while now. Also mixing in some customs you see back here. I throw in, not made by me, but I've just acquired them over time. I'm not as talented enough to paint head sculpts like these. And down here we have some of the shadow elves. Growing up playing the Elder Scrolls, I try to have every race a good faction for them. He's the king of the shadow elves. And moving on over here we have some of the elf kingdom with some bog goblins here. And also a forest troll back there. A lot of elf archers inspired by Lord of the Rings. Let's get a quick pan out. But yeah, there goes my elf slash dwarf factions. And here we have our gladiator shelf, inspired by movies like 300, and just a lot of armor used back in the Roman Empire. These female gladiators are from the Combatants Fight for Glory line. Amazing action figures if you haven't checked them out already. They fit really well with Mythic Legions. And have the Cyclops in the back as one of the monsters they have to fight in the arena. Planning on getting some tigers as well. Moving on over here, we kind of have the Beast shelf. It's a mix of man and beast, kind of like the Minotaur. Have the Anubis there. Got a giant elephant man group. Just a bunch of kind of random figures, anthropomorphic figures, like the boar guards here from Mythic Legions are pretty cool. And got the Monkey King from Figure Obscura. Also have Zeus back there. Down here we have some royal guards that keep peace in the arena and in the town. I like the design they made for these. These are combatants fight for glory. And over here we have the Persian Empire, kind of like from 300, where King Leonidas had to face them with only a group of 300. And that pretty much does it for this gladiator shelf. This is one of my favorite shelves to just come back at and just look at all the details in every piece of armor and just appreciate how much time they put into painting them. Now we're gonna switch it up to a more ghoulish shelf. Here we have a mix of vampires, werewolves, skeletons. A lot of inspiration from this shelf comes from the movie Underworld, the vampires versus the werewolves, and also from the video game Soul Reaver, Legacy of Kain. I played that growing up, so I always had an interest in vampires. And moving on over here, we have the werewolves. These are made by Creature Replica. They made them a while back, and I believe they're one of the best werewolf figures out today. They have great articulation. Highly recommend. And down here is some of my skeletons, done by 4 Horsemen. We have Keltis there, one of the rare skeletons. And we have the Headless Horseman by Figure Obscura. Definitely one of my favorite figures there. It's a cool one. And over here is the Ghost Shelf. Some spectral beings. And some Dark Templar Knights back there. That's a Figure Obscura figure with a custom head. And we have Hades as well. We had Zeus up there and Hades down here, chilling with the ghosts in the underworld. Seems appropriate. Pretty much does it for my werewolf/vampire shelf. Those ghost figures definitely look cool in the night when they glow in the dark. Here we have the Lizardman shelf. Actually, you gotta have some Lizardmen with your fantasy figures, and they have been delivering lately with the Lizardmen. This is Axie Toys. And here's some of the 4 Horsemen's older figure line. Some of the birds they made. A lot of this shelf is inspired by the movie The Dark Crystal back in 1982 with director Jim Henson. I like the Skeksis race they had there, so I got these birds to kind of be like my Skeksis in my headcanon with my figures. Moving down here to a newer figure line, Savage Crucible. They've been releasing these Lizardmen that have been fantastic. They have a bunch of variations. You can customize them. And the paint shop is just really great. They remind me of the game Turok Evolution. I grew up playing that. Here's some more of the bird figures from 4 Horsemen. But these are the dragon figures. They're custom painted to be a different variation. Moving on down here, got a giant spider and 2 dinosaurs, or T-Rexes. These are made by Creative Beast Studios. I believe the green one is an exclusive. Moving on down here, we have a custom project I was working on. It's kind of like a Shelob. I made using the NECA Gremlin. And got a 3D printed head. This gnarly looking spider, and got a buddy of mine to paint it up for me. Now he sits there waiting for anybody unlucky to pass by and become bones. His lunch. And just some more trolls down here. And there goes my Lizardmen shelf. The Lizardmen tribe, I call it. Mostly based on the Dark Crystal and the game Turok Evolution. Heavily inspired by that. I wanted them to fit into my fantasy shelf. And they fit in quite well, I think. don't know, you guys, what do you guys think? Alright, we're gonna be switching up to some Mortal Kombat. I grew up playing this fighting game, even though I shouldn't have been playing it at my age. It was pretty gory. Up here we have some of the boss characters like Shao Kahn, Goro, Kintaro, Motaro. Also have Baraka and Kano up here. Most, if not all of these, are done by Storm Collectibles. Try to get a good shot of Goro back there. I think Storm Collectibles blew it out of the park with these figures. It's a shame that I think they lost the license because I can't find any information if they're continuing to make these. Which is a shame because they were announcing some really cool ones like Cabal. But yeah, here's some of my ninjas. The Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Ermac, Smoke, Noob Saibot right here. Really great details. Got Rain back there. My favorite character, Reptile, in the series. And down here we have Raiden with some of Earthrealm's defenders, like Sonya Blade. We've got Sub-Zero, Night Wolf, Liu Kang back there, Scorpion, and some other characters. And here we have some of the Cyber Ninjas, Sector, Cyrax, and Smoke. Some of the other ninjas back there. And down here we have some of the McFarlane Mortal Kombat figures. These are pretty cool. It's a shame he doesn't release more. And I call this my DLC character shelf of characters that have been guest characters and cameos in the past, except for King over here. I just wanted that figure because I was a fan of Tekken and I cannot afford to buy another Storm collection of different fighters because this Mortal Kombat shelf was expensive enough. It's definitely one of my most expensive collections, but definitely one of my favorite ones as well. And I gotta say that my favorite figure on this shelf is gonna be the Cyrax and the Reptile. They're just way too cool, and I was kind of a big fan of them, playing them growing up, so pretty biased there. And here we have the Godzilla shelf. A lot of SH Monster arts here. Got the Biolante with Heisei Godzilla. Got the SH Kong figure, 2005. The 1954 Godzilla. And the Final Wars back there. San Diego exclusive Godzilla. Down here we have the SH Shin Godzilla Atomic Beam version with the evolved Godzilla. And Jet Jaguar over here with the exclusive Godzilla and Kiryu back there with the Absolute Zero. Also the exclusive Fire Godzilla, or the Explosive Godzilla they call him. The Kiryu. These SH Monster Arts have great articulation and amazing paint jobs. Only thing is they're pretty fragile, so you gotta be really careful with them. You not want to end up breaking them. And here we have the Space Godzilla trio with Mogira back there. It's the reissue and the first issue Space Godzilla. Here's some Haya toys. Got the exquisite Skullcrawler and the regular Skullcrawler from Haya. Haya's blown out of the park, becoming one of my favorite figure lines. Here we have a bunch of NECA. Godzilla vs. Mothra, NECA, -1. We have Gamera as well down here. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this shelf. Also got these cool 3D printed buildings I found on eBay that fit really well with the shelf. And here we have the Godzilla I grew up with, Zilla. Pretty controversial. I know he's not everybody's favorite, but he is mine. Kind of have a Showa shelf going on here for Bandai figures. Mezco anchors. I like that King Ghidorah, really bright. Here we have Kong, Mezco Kong as well. Titanosaurus, Destroya, Gigan, Batra, Villainous Shelf. Also have Ultraman over here, Kombat, Ibra, and Jet Jaguar, ready to team up to take down all these kaijus. Down here we have the Final Wars shelf, Monster X, Kaiser Ghidorah. We have the Gigan upgraded version. And here we have a Millennial shelf with Orga. Yeah, that's most of my Bandai figures. With the Bandai Biolante here. A little Gamera shelf I'm working on. Hope you guys enjoyed the Godzilla tour. I'm gonna get a quick pan out so you get a good look at all these kaiju. That ultimate Zilla is humongous. Just towers over my other figures. I have no space for him. I'm always looking for where I can fit him. But he's still a great figure. And moving on, we have the Star Wars prequel shelf. Separatists and the Clone Wars vehicles. Up here we have kind of like a Phantom Menace shelf. We have here a custom painted battle droid to look like the Commander battle droid. Obi-Wan, Anakin, Qui-Gon, Darth Maul. Got some custom bubble shields for my droidekas. And Padme as well. Over here is when they land on Naboo with the Separatist army and they meet Jar Jar, the best character, one of the best Star Wars characters. And down here we have the Clone Wars shelf with Jango Fett and Count Dooku. and the Super Battle Droids. I'm really happy we finally got those for the Black Series. I have a SH Anakin there, with the SH Padme as well. And here we have some Jedis fighting the droids. My favorite Jedi over there, Plo Koon. I used to play him as Jedi Power Battles, the old PS1 game. And down here we have the Revenge of the Sith shelf. Anakin and Obi-Wan in their prime, killing battle droids, and Grievous's Magna droids. And over here we have some of Anakin's 501st with SH Obi-Wan, SH Yoda here, and another SH Anakin cloaked up with some of Palpatine's shock troopers guarding him up. I was starting to lose faith in the Black Series line because they just keep releasing repaints and a bunch of figures that we already had. But they have recently been releasing some really good figures like the Super Battle Droid and Commando droids coming up. So I'm looking forward to those, adding those to my collection. And here we have the original trilogy figures. Got Jabba the Hutt here, with Slave Leia, some Gamorrean guards, and Greedo back there, and Leia in her bounty hunter outfit disguise. Here we have an Imperial shelf with Darth Vader, Princess Leia, Grand Admiral Tarkin, the Emperor, and down here we have the Rancor fighting Luke. We got dropped down from Jabba's palace. I was one of the few who backed that Rancor up, the HasLab, but now looking back at it, the Black Series one's perfect. I don't know where I would put that giant Rancor. And here we have a Tatooine shelf. Got some stormtroopers looking for Luke and the droids. Moving on down here, we have the Hoth section with the Tauntauns and the AT-ST Walker, my favorite Star Wars vehicle. Got some sand people there. Tusken Raiders. Alright, let's move on to another Star Wars shelf. And here we have the Mandalorian shelf. A lot of inspiration for the new shows being released today, like Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian, and Ahsoka. A lot of cool characters showing up in that show. This is a custom someone made. The blue guy from the first episode, forgot his name. Here we have Boba Fett with Mando and Luke Skywalker. Some of the Darth Troopers over there, and Luke soloing all of them. Down here we have the Ahsoka and Obi-Wan Kenobi shelf. Darth Vader with his battle damage mask, and Balin with Ahsoka, a custom sister, Nightwatch sister over there. This is my Book of Boba Fett shelf with couple of customs, the custom Rancor I painted, and some of the Jabba's gang leaders, the Hutts. I really enjoyed the Book of Boba Fett, especially seeing another Rancor. And over here we have the Jedi Fallen Order shelf. Cal Kestis. And here's a Force Unleashed shelf. Big fan of the Force Unleashed games. All the moves you can do with the Force there. How OP you were as a character. It's a great game. Hopefully one day we get a good remake or something. And got the Unleashed Evolution Rancor with the paint up there. That's it for most of my Star Wars figures. I'm still trying to expand. I think I got most of the main characters down. And here we have the Pokemon shelf. One of my favorite shows. Just looking at it brings back so many childhood nostalgia. Open up Pokemon cards in the school field and trading with my friends and watching the show when I didn't have much channels back then. A lot of these Pokemons are done from different companies, mostly from Pokemon battle figures and new ones. They have great articulation, and Ash and Team Rocket are made from Figma. Also, Red here is made by Figma. We have some of the bigger Pokemon here. Onyx there. And Dragonite. I like these ghost Pokemon a lot. Haunter, especially. I remember that episode where he started freaking out the main characters when they went to Pallet Town, or I forgot the name, the ghost town. And here we have Professor Oak. It's some choices of Pokeball, starter Pokemon. We have two of my favorite Pokemon on this shelf, the Scyther and the Wobbuffet. I wish I still had my Pokemon cards from back in the day. I had some rare ones. I mostly collect only first gen Pokemon, but I do collect some of the second gen. And that's gonna do it for most of my Pokemon collection. Hope you guys enjoyed that nostalgia. Moving on to some of my Halo action figures. We've got the Action Clicks Scarab up here. And here we have some Halo 3 action figures made by McFarlane. Some hunters back there. McFarlane blew it out of the park with these. It's like they were taken out straight from the game. And we have the Arbiter with Sergeant Johnson. And some brutes. Should have Brute Chieftain. Halo 3, I had to switch from fighting the elites to the brutes. And here we have a little bit of Halo 2 shelf. And some Flood from the Halo 3. Or they were in all of them, but here's just a massive war going on down here. Halo 3 shelf, one of my favorite games of all time. I would always play coming home from middle school. Moving on to some Halo Reach action figures. Here we have the Noble 6. Some elites. It's really tough to get these elites to stand. But they're really cool. This one's from when they ambushed the Noble 6 and had a brute chieftain here with a green grunt riding a ghost. Some skirmish. And we have some elites over here as well. Elite officer, I believe. Now we're gonna move on to the Joyride Halo figures. One of my first Halo figures I ever got. I would go into GameStop and see a bunch of these on the wall. And this is when I first got my Xbox, and one of the first games I ever got was Halo 1 and 2 at the same time. And I told myself I'll beat the first Halo campaign, Combat Evolved, and then I'll play the second one. And I ran through the Combat Evolved and I could not get enough of it. Straight into Halo 2. And it was just absolutely crazy to me playing as the Arbiter. Like when you spawned in, like what, you're playing as the enemy. Man, just a great campaign. And Keith David voice on top of it. Being a huge Spawn fan, and that was great. And here we have a autographed Master Chief from a Comic-Con I went to. I met him over there. And here we have Sergeant Johnson with some ODSTs and Tartarus back there. I really like this shelf. It brings back a lot of memories. And here we have my Alien vs. Predator shelf. A mixture of the Aliens franchise and the Predator. Here we have a Aliens 2 shelf. The Marines taking down the Xenomorphs. With the bluish tint they had on the second movie. I really like these battle damaged Xenomorphs with their head blown off. And have the Queen Xenomorph here with Ridley in her power mech suit. Have a facehugger emerging from his egg. Really like these Queen Xenomorph figures. Here we have some Alien Resurrection shelf. I know a lot of people were a big fan of that one, but I really like the alien design and the color. Just the Abomination back there. Just looked so freaky. Definitely one of my favorite designs. And here we have the red Xenomorph Queen from the Alien vs. Predator comics. With I call him my Alpha Predator. And down here we have some of my Predators to help get rid of the Xenomorph infestation. Concrete Jungle Predator. There's a giant blade there. Really like the design of the bigger Predator back there. I never played the video game, but that's really cool that we were able to get that figure. And here we have some Abominations Xenomorphs. They were tested on. Let's say this is a Gorilla Xenomorph. A Licker Xenomorph. With a Praying Mantis Xenomorph. A Rhino Xenomorph back there. Just somebody was creating some freaky stuff. And down here we have Next on the movie shelf, Alien vs. Predator 2, The Queen, The Deacon. And here we have the Alien vs. Predator 1 movie with the Elder Predator and Grid Alien, my favorite alien back there. And some unopened boxes that I have still stored up. I think it's a Youngblood back there. And a Celtic. Yeah, it's one of my favorite Alien and Predator movie. It's really cool to see them fight each other. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this Alien Predator / Predator shelf. I know I enjoy watching these movies and looking at this shelf a lot. Picking things up to some Resident Evil now. Here we have a Resident Evil 4 shelf with a merchant someone custom made for me. It's pretty cool to sell Leon some random things he might need, like a giant fish. He gets hungry. You have the Dr. Salvador back there. A lot of monk figures. You got Ada Wong with her Uzi. Some Plagas infested monks. Here we have Leon Kennedy, made by a third-party company. They did some cloth goods on him. Really cool. Like his jacket. Kind of feels like a mezco style figure. They also made these ganados, the villagers with the chainsaws, Dr. Salvador, and the sisters as well. And the Verdugo back there as well. And the Iron Maiden. Moving on down here to Raccoon City, we have Leon when he first started the job with Claire Redfield and some zombies from the Raccoon City office police station, some liquors, it's a laboratory liquor over there, a stronger version, and Mr. X back there stalking. Have a bunch of these infected dog figures as well that appeared a lot throughout the police station. These Claire Redfield and Leon are done by a third-party company with cloth goods. They're done really well. Here we have Albert Wesker and Jill Valentine. Also infected Williams G. Birkins back there turning into a giant abomination. And have some tyrants as well on this shelf. And some zombies. Got Nemesis holding his bazooka back there as well. Mostly based off Resident Evil 3. For a little horror bonus, we have the Dead Space shelf down here. Isaac Clarke in his 3 different suits. That marker came from the collector's edition, and it actually lights up if you plug it in. It's pretty cool. We have this My Resident Evil action figures. I hope you guys enjoyed that if you were a fan of the games. And here we have my Spawn action figure shelf. I grew up watching Spawn, especially the HBO series and the older comics. Definitely is one of my favorite anti-heroes. I put a wired cloth cape on this Kickstarter Spawn. Fits better, I feel like.
And over here we have some more Hellspawns variants, like the Cowboy Hellspawn, the Raven, the Kombat spawn. I made this spawn here in the front with the axe, kind of look like the one from the game Spawn Armageddon I played back in the day. And that does it for most of my spawn figures. And here's a newer shelf I just added, the WWE shelf, with some of my childhood favorite wrestling characters I used to watch, like Hulk Hogan and John Cena, Rey Mysterio, Stone Cold, The Rock. They have my favorite wrestler there, the Kane, Undertaker, Jeff Hardy, Andre the Giant all the way back there, Bret Hart, and Shawn Michaels. I'm still building up the list. And Mankind in the ring with Kane, Vince McMahon announcing. Big fan of collecting these WWE figures because they bring back a lot of memories and nostalgia when I used to watch wrestling. And here's the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger shelf. The whole team here, the White Ranger and the Green Ranger. Zordon back there. I was extremely sad hearing of Tommy's passing because I grew up watching the Green Ranger. Here we have some of the villain shelf. Got some Ninja Turtles down here. Love the Ninja Turtles, I still do. Used to come home and watch the cartoons all the time and get them on DVD. Just a big fan of the movie as well. And here we have the video game shelf. Got a mixture of all sorts of video games I used to play growing up. With Sonic in here, Ratchet, Donkey Kong. All sorts of video game characters. I'm actually trying to get Samus in here as well. Some other Kirby. Some Smash Bros. Characters in here. Let's have a big brawl. It's quite a colorful shelf though. And here comes Crash and Spyro, my two favorite video game characters. They definitely have a part of my childhood. I used to play their games over and over. Sometimes without a memory card, so I would have to try to beat the game in one sitting, which was almost impossible. For me back then, as a kid at least. Yeah, I have Tiny Tina back there. A bunch of the other villains. Yeah, it's a video game shelf. And here we have the Jurassic Park shelf. I used to watch this movie over and over on VHS. I didn't have many movies back then, so whenever the movie finished, I would just pop it back in and rewatch it when I was just a kid. And I loved watching the dinosaurs. Here's the Spinosaurus, my favorite dinosaur. Got some of the Velociraptors from a third-party company. Repainted them really nice. Fit really well with my Jurassic Park figures. And we have another Spinosaurus. This one is the remote control one. Got one of the pterodactyls. Freaky looking thing from the third movie. These things were really scary looking the way they walked. And here we have Rexy. Some of the other dinosaurs. The one that spits acid. I forgot the name of it. Some more down here. Some Velociraptors. A Rexy or some of the T-Rexy. And a Spinosaurus. Some JP3 Velociraptors. Yeah, that's most of my Jurassic Park. Here's the Gargoyle shelf. The Disney Gargoyles show. I watched as a kid. I really liked the animation and the stories they told. Also voiced by Keith Davis, this Goliath, the same voice for Spawn. It was just a great show. NECA made these figures that are really amazing. Some of them just look just like they popped out from the show. I have great accessories too, the popcorn. Here's Xanatos with some of his Legion. Gargoyles, robot gargoyles. I hope they keep making more of these because they're definitely cool. Just their wings make it really hard to find space and displaying them. And here we have the Nightmare Before Christmas show. I really love this movie. It had some great musical scores and characters. I was a big fan of doing stop motion animation at the time as a kid, so watching this really inspired me to do more as well. It showed me what pushing your limits in stop motion could do. And that's most of my Halloween Town figures with Oogie Boogie back there. And here's some rare Gentle Giant statue / figures from Clash of the Titans. These were really hard to acquire. They're really expensive now, but I found them at a decent price back in the day. I think they released just 3 of them. I don't know where this guy's whip is. It's somewhere in my storage, but I do have it. Yeah, some great figures here from the old movie. And here's some of my anime figures from Sword Art Online, one of the first animes I ever watched. I've only seen a few animes like Death Note, Attack on Titan, and currently watching Berserk, but Sword Art Online is one of the first animes I ever watched, and it definitely has a place with me, just growing up watching it. And I know it's not people's favorite anime, but it's definitely one of my favorite animes. And I'm missing Alice. I'm gonna get her pretty soon to be standing in the middle there. And we got Mango the Parrot chilling up here. He's watching me. Oh yeah. Get it. Here are my Bionicle figures. I watched The Mask of Light, I think it's called. Back when I was a kid, I rented it at Blockbuster and I fell in love with Bionicles. Although I think I just collected them before I watched the movie. Because I think everybody collected Bionicles back then. They were just so cool for Legos. I even had the video game. I don't think I ever finished it, but it was really cool. I have some of the other Bionicle monsters or the villains like Makuta. I just have to build them when I have the time. That's gonna do it for my collection video. If you made it this far, please leave a like and subscribe. It means a lot to me. Peace out.